doing. There's very few of us. Yet, every one of these pages that you probably going to type down, why is it that they get more credit and more reverence than those of us who actually are able to do what I do? Feel what I'm saying? So, like, Johnny Aborigine, that's a great account. Elijah W something, that's a great account. You already know Raspy, so I don't have to mention Raspy. Y'all need to ask Raspy who are his go-to accounts, so that y'all can get the information that he recycles for you, so y'all can go directly to. Like, for instance, you got Yash. Yash got another account called Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, or Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. Y'all should check that account out. My man Amit stay dropping shit, and I feel like his account is one of the most underrated. Y'all can go check his account out. Minister Enki, but everybody knows those are popular accounts, so you already know about those ones. Well, Jay Stu need to put more information on his shit. But 432 The Drop, King Drop, that's another page that they do really good research, and they don't regurgitate other people's shit. So everybody I just named is people that don't regurgitate anybody else's shit. Okay, Johnny Aborigine, Elijah WJ something, I don't want to butcher it. But he be on the Aboriginal tip. That's another one. Who else did I say? I gotta see the pages, because to be honest, I don't really go to anybody else's Instagram page to learn. I'll keep it a buck with you. I might scroll across other people's pages every now and again, and they may catch me with something, or they may send something, but that's about it. Alright, so now that I done run my mouth on that portion, I just wanted to say that much. Let me go to an area where there's a little bit more light, so that I can, hang on a second. Never mind what I'm doing. Okay. So that I can just show y'all some of the preview, because I kind of got to get back into the mode of doing that again. So give me a second. Take this, and this. Alright. Alright, so let me see. Put this up here real quick. Hang on a second. Hang on, let me just see if this shit charging. Alright, it's charging. So let me set this up real quick. I'm gonna do this. Alright, that should be good enough. Alright, hands free. There we go. Oh shit. It's probably not gonna work. Yep. Hang on a second. Alright. What? Hold on, I'm trying to read you guys' comments at the same time. Hang on one second. Yeah, Sirius is cool. Sirius ain't never come in and take nothing and never not give me credit. So I don't have no problems when people give me my credit, so that I can actually end up doing something, so I don't have to be here. You feel what I'm saying? You think I like doing night shifts? I don't. I'd rather do this. I'd rather do this shit full time. I'd rather be able to do this full time and be able to do certain things. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I got a whole host of shit. Like, this isn't even the main book, because you see a lot of it is blank. But I've got more shit in here that niggas don't even know shit about. Well, the other one. But like, for instance, like Torus field. Like, I'm just going to give you a rundown, right? Real quick. So, Torus field, who you know is teaching this? And you see here I got 8th dimension. Okay, so part of the reason why I was scrolling through my Facebook, my Instagram page on there was to show you guys the breakdown that I got for dimensions. Because the breakdown that I have for dimensions actually makes it a lot easier to understand how the world is without any planets, why they're creating things like CERN or HARP, why those things are even in use, how they're being used. Like, a lot of this has to do with all of that. So everything ties in together, right? And one of the things which helped me, for instance, with the Torus field was, like, Nasi Yashuvel had to call me and remind me. You know, he was like, yo, bro, do you remember when I put you on the Birkeland's current? And I was like, nah. You know what I mean? But once he started to talk and to remind me, I had to recall it. And I was like, you know what? That sounds about right. You know, and this is the importance of why you got to give credit where credit is due. You understand what I'm saying? So if anybody ever hears me talk about Birkeland's current, know that it was Nasi Yashuvel who put me on to Birkeland's current. Now, what I do with Birkeland's current, I ended up taking it a little bit further, because at that time, like I said, nobody was on the flat earth shit like that. So, especially as Israelites, there was probably only a handful of us that was on it like that. An even smaller amount of us that were actually talking about it and attempting to teach it. But it was because Nasi gave me that gem that I was able to take that gem and take it and go further with it. You know what I mean? To the point where Nasi came to me, he was like, yo, bro, that shit that you teaching about Birkeland's current is remarkable. And, you know, to have one of few people who you look up to, so Nasi would be one of those people who you could say I look up to, in terms of like temperament and like as a marker to meet or whatever, to follow or surpass, then yeah, you know, you could put him up there as one. I don't have many though, to be honest. A lot of these niggas, like, they don't really study like that. So Nasi, I know, study like that for real though. Okay, so hey, y'all niggas telling me I should build with Young Pharaoh on this. You need to go reach out to Young Pharaoh and ask Young Pharaoh why he didn't return my call when I gave him my phone number as well as the information. And then you can tell him I said the reason why I didn't give him the rest of the information is because I'm not just going to give him the information without me having told him that I got it from my creator and the creator of the Torah, who he openly disrespects. Do you understand? So when that man finds the phone number in the DM that I sent him, and I know he's seen it because he told me he was going to hit me up, right? Never did. So I never gave him the rest of the information. So you guys can go tell him I said he can call me, and then I can teach him about the flat earth properly. You understand what I'm saying? And I can also teach him about how to use the Lloyd Pye information so he doesn't teach the UFO crap that he's teaching. So you guys can tell him that. I extended an olive branch to that dude already. Listen, I extend the olive branch one time only. You do what you want with it. You can let it sit there, you can crumple it up, but I don't give out olive branches like that. Okay? That's what I got to say about that one. Alright, so look, like, for instance, some of the stuff that's being taught, right? And he making a killing off of teaching y'all some bullshit. I'm just letting y'all know that. Them niggas charging y'all $30 at the door. Feel what I'm saying? Alright, so a lot of people don't realize that the beauty about this information, right, is that, okay, it doesn't, like, a lot of this information, what I just showed you, this is back from 2014. Like, nigga, this shit is 2014. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This is 2014 shit from me. Right? I've been waiting to deliver information like this. But you niggas taking too long to get with the Flat Earth program. You understand? They've taken far too long, but I feel like they're right around the corner from accepting the Flat Earth. So now it's time for me to get back on my horse. So that's what November's for. Right? So I'm probably going to take another hiatus. I took a little 3 days to myself. And then I'm going to take another hiatus for another 2 weeks. And then I'm going to come back and start slaying niggas left or right. Right? Nah, there ain't no 3 times the charm, nigga. Once I extend the olive branch to you and you don't use it, I keep it moving. Look, this is how it work in my mind. I don't need nobody. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'd like some help, but I don't need anybody. Do you understand? And that's just the mentality I have. I got to do what I got to do regardless of whether this motherfucker want to come and join, whether he want to help, whatever. Don't stop what I'm doing. So, all right. So, the reason I wanted to point to this information, getting stuffy. The reason why I wanted to point to this information is because, look, this stuff I've been teaching at least since 2014, 15, right? And if you notice, nobody else has picked the ball up and kind of carried it any further. And I just don't, if everybody's studying, how come ain't nobody contributing nothing new to the same material? Everybody's just recycling the same shit. There's only a few accounts, like some of the ones y'all mentioned, my man Johnny Aborigine, Elijah, whatever other accounts that are like that. I don't know why they're not coming to my mind right now. But that shows you how few and far between they are. You understand? So I follow 500 pages, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm learning from those pages. Like, a lot of the pages, they recycle a lot of information. But that's the reason why I brought this information out, was because nobody has taken the initiative to go a step further. Or very few have. And if they're doing it, they're not sharing it. And that's a problem. Right? So look. So a lot of this information, I warned people and I told people, I said, listen, I'm going to stop teaching about the flat earth. And you're going to have to learn about electromagnetism so that when I decide to come back and teach, that you'd be up to speed so that I wouldn't have to take baby steps. You understand what I'm saying to you? So there's a reason why we took a hiatus. So I don't want to hear people saying, oh, you're going too fast, or can you take time out? No. Okay? If you're one of those people that needs a remedial course, then you need to scroll through the page and you need to take your time out to go look at the post that we have dedicated to this electromagnetism, flat earth, or whatever subject I'm talking about. Excuse me. I've already done all the hard work. I've done all the stupid video editing. You know how long it takes to edit a 60-second video off my phone? That should take like 10 minutes. I'm tired of doing that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It takes 10 minutes to do one video. Y'all go ask UB News how long it take him to do one video. It takes him an hour to do a 60-second video. 60 seconds. Take 1 hour. And motherfuckers are ungrateful. Motherfuckers will come in and flag your shit immediately. Fuck that. Bitch, it took me an hour to make this shit. You flagged my shit down, it hasn't even been up an hour yet. This is why we gotta do what we doing. Like, niggas don't realize it take a lot of work and patience to do this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is not a problem because I'm doing this for me. So whether or not these dumb niggas get the picture or not, it's irrelevant to me because I'm doing this for me. I need this for me to understand this. You niggas who want me to share this shit with you. So I'm going to make it into a project and you niggas can pay for it. And you can do it that way. You know what I mean? Okay, so I just want to show you some brief preview, right? So 8th dimension, okay, the Torus field, right? This is where matter, the 8th dimension, as I've explained in my dimensional backdrop, is where it's where energy begins to manifest itself into patterns. You understand? It hasn't taken a physical form yet. It's begun to, like I said, put itself into patterns. So, or no, let me take that back. 10th dimension is abstractness, right? Complete randomness, right? Or what is perceived to be randomness. Okay? That's 10th dimension. So 10th dimension is ideas, notions, principles, laws, order, things like that. Intangible things, right? Then you got the 9th dimension. The 9th dimension, the 9th dimension is a continuation, is a setness of those laws, right? When those laws begin to manifest themselves, right? In the 9th dimension, that's where forms or shapes take place. It's the dimension where ideas, patterns, concepts, they start to form a design, a diagram, a pattern, right? Then you got the 8th dimension. The 8th dimension is this one right here where you see with the Torus field. That's regarding the matrix. So when those of y'all talk about Mandela's effect, and CERN and ITER and HARP and all these things you see me mention before, that's the reason why they made these devices, is so that they can bypass the constrainer dimensions. So you got constrainer dimensions, the 6th dimension, and constrainer dimension number 8. So the 6th dimension and the 8th dimension are fundamental dimensions. Okay? These are where you find... Hold up, let me show y'all. You just go to Emerald Tablets of Thought. This is where you find... This is where you find these type of gods, right? So you see the Lord of Cycles, and then you got another god on level number 4, the 4th cycle, god of the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Look at how it says 6, 7, and 8th, right? These are all the non-material realms. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. 6, 7, and 8 have charge of certain of the fixed skeletal frameworks of the future time. Do you understand what that means? Right? What did I write down here? What'd you see me write? Look, the 5th is the guardian of the word, opening the final gate when man is ready for it. 6, 7, and 8 have charge of certain of the fixed skeletal frameworks of future time. Right? So this means that time, space it's like a video game, okay? And then we have a certain amount of time before we're able to, it's like a time loop, a time lock, right? This artificial place that we've been placed in is controlled by these beings, right? And a part of their ability to be able to manipulate the time-space continuum or to get the desired results that they need to have happen, what they want to happen, they've created things like CERN, HARP, and ITER. So if you've heard of something like Mandela's effect, They needed HARP, CERN, and ITER to be able to manipulate the electromagnetic sphere, the Torus field, in order for them to peer into or choose the possibilities. So this is when you get into the multiverse or quantum mechanics and things of that nature. This is where all of that stuff you see me talking about in the past, now we're going to start to talk about it again because it's necessary, right? But what did you see me right here? This is why they needed CERN to give ability for manipulation of space-time. Mandela effect. Right? Exactly. The deja vu movie. So you see me write that already up in the book. Right? That's because I've understood this for a couple years now. Right? So look at this. So this is notes from the primer field. So where I got this information from is something called the primer field. This is a David LaPointe documentary, okay? Torus field, primer field, same thing. Molecular patterns, sacred geometry, Torus field, all the same thing. Electromagnetic field, all the same thing, okay? So as long as you understand that, then you're good. All right, so what is a primer? A primer is a basic guide to understanding a subject. 2 is a device that will initiate a reaction. So this is key. Why is you needing a device or something to initiate a reaction? Because in this universe, it's a universe of cause and effect. You understand? So in order for time or in order for you to be conscious, you have to have motion, right? There has to be movement. The ability to move throughout from point A to point B, not only in location, but in terms of time. You need to be able to progress, right? Without animation or without the ability for motion, and therefore without the ability to have memories, and therefore without the ability to reflect, and therefore without the ability to be conscious, you see how everything leads one into the other? Right? Even down to the food that we eat. When you eat certain foods, you got to look at the molecules which are digested by the body and what effect it has on the brain. There's a reason why wheat, I'll say maize and not corn, because corn is GMO. Maize, different crops like lentil beans and different beans were used, and the people who ate of those things, you see that they were the philosophers and the scientists of the ancient times. Why? Because of the molecules which are used by the brain and its effect on the brain, and everything is interlinked. So once you realize that, then you begin to realize you got to study everything. Okay? So look. All right, so initiate reaction. So this electromagnetic field has been placed here as an ability for things to react to it or react from it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So look at here. This is like the flat earth plane, right? The green part is the flat earth plane, or if you will, an electron. This is the physical part of the atom, or what becomes the physical part, right? Then you got the north orientation and you got south orientation. Okay, so you have above the flat earth, the heavens above, and then you got the heavens below, or the hells below. Okay? The vortex accounts for the wave electromagnetism. So like, for instance, I'll probably got another post. But if you look at, if you're looking at the ocean, right? And you're just staring at the vastness of the ocean, and you're seeing the different ripple effects and the waves or whatever. Let's just pretend it's not water, but it's... No, actually, let's just say it's water, the Shemayim, the heavenly waters, right? So, you got the waves like this, right? You have waves, different type of waves which reach different heights. That's called your altitude, right? So, you got waves which go up high like this, and you got some waves which are down here. That's your frequency, okay? Then you got the actual stretching forth of the plane, of the field, right? You got from where you are to as far as your eye can see. Now, that's the possibility. All of that is possibility. The probability is the different waves, right? And the higher the wave, the higher the probability for the possibility, right? So that's how you have to think of the eighth dimension. The eighth dimension is about measuring possibilities and probabilities. I'm going to show you something. Watch this. Now, this book you see me come out of, we're speculating that this is Enoch, right? Enoch is Thoth, and Atlantis is actually Pangea. Right? So look. Hold up. Hang on a second, I'm trying to find it for y'all. I think it's here. It's one of these two. Hang on a second. Okay, here we go. I think I found it. Alright, so these are different like wisdoms, but I'm trying to find for you. Okay, look. So it goes, thus the plan is known to the direct emanation, the lords. Okay, so every time it says the lords, these are the angels, right? The 7 is the title of the lords of the cycles beyond us, each called by the number of his cycle in the relationship to Yod, to the supreme force, to Haya, right? Okay, coming from cycles beyond this, they are part of the absolute essence. So this Haya is that absolute essence, so the Most High, right? They are bound to neither life nor death, for their activity is controlled directly by the Yarkima. So this is that Yod, that force, right? That controls both good and evil. Okay, thus their life is not the life of emanations from the cosmic cycle, as they are not dependent on a spirit for manifestation. Right? So it's talking about these angelic beings who are masters of the ethereal world, right? So 7 are they, the lords of Amenti, just like 7 chakras, right? 7 main angels, archangels. Overlords, they of the children of the morning. So this must be a lower class of angels. Children of the morning, right? So 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, and 9, these different dimensions are the titles of the masters of men, right? These gods who rule over us. Okay, far from the future, formless yet forming. Formless yet forming. So what does it mean to have a form but be formless? To me, that sounds like they have the ability to shapeshift or to change their form, right? And what do we see from... Hold up. What do we see from this ability right here, right? His ability to be a flame, to take on any form that he wishes, right? They take on the form of man, they take on the form of a burning bush, they take on the form of whatever. Doesn't matter, right? So in here, you read about these beings who are the creators. So look, saw them create from out of the ether, right? So I put, this is referring to the angels. Some I found who had conquered the ether, free of space were they while yet they were men. Free of space, meaning the space-time continuum. They were free of the 4th dimension, even though they were men. So the angels are described as men, right? Or taking on the countenance of men, but having the ability to do more than man, right? So is that not your angels being spoken about, and the abilities of your angels? They take on the shape of men, the form of men, but they have the power of gods, right? Okay, let's keep going. So it says, using the force that is the foundation of all things. So what is the force which is the foundation of all things? Electromagnetism. Okay? The Most High is electromagnetic. Your mind, not your brain, your mind is electromagnetic. Your soul is electromagnetic. Your spirit is electromagnetic. Do you understand? This is why I told them from so long ago to study electromagnetism, right? Let's keep going. Okay? So using the force, electromagnetism, that is the foundation of all things, we know this. Far in space, constructed they a planet. So we know that space, there's no such thing as outer space. So when it's talking about space, it's talking about within the time-space continuum, right? Within the heavens, they created another realm, right? A limited realm, a realm. It's like a time lock, like a time loop, right? It's like this place that we live in right now was not a real. This is not what the Most High had initially made for us. We were multi-dimensional beings. Now, we're not the case. We've been trapped inside this physical body, right? These avatars. These are the gods who let us come together and make them in our image. Who do you think they're talking about? Okay, they're talking about these gods which we're telling you about right now. And only one of those gods was actually on behalf of the actual creator spirit who controls everything. And that was who? That was our God, right? That was Archangel Michael. Okay, this is the God that whoops everybody else's ass. Okay? All right. So we keep going, right? So far in the heavens, they constructed, and we know planets ain't real, so instead of planets, they created planes or dimensions, right? Now, if you think about it, when the giants and the Rephaim died, what happened to their bodies? What happened to their spirits? They didn't go anywhere, right? Their spirits had to stay here on the earth. So if the earth is a physical realm, however, you have to inhabit a body to participate truly in this realm, and they don't participate. Guess what that means? That means that this realm that we live in has two dimensions that are parallel to each other. One where it's only your spirit, right? Because remember, you got 5 fingers, right? That means you're a 5th dimensional being. 4th dimension is the beginning of consciousness, right? It's animalistic mind. So you got righteous people who are 5th dimensional. They've reached their max in this realm. And then there are other people who are 4th dimensional, right? They're animalistic. All they do is think about eat, sleep, and shit. And their whole mind state revolves around that. And then you got the 3rd dimension, which is inanimate. There's no motion. So for instance, this is 3-dimensional. This is 3-dimensional. All of this, even a flat piece of paper. For young Pharaoh, if young Pharaoh ever watches this, right? I seen in one of your breakdowns, you said, well, everything is 3-dimensional, so how can it be flat? Well, if I'm going to use your own, what you said against you. If everything in this realm is 3-dimensional, that would include everything that's flat. Everything that's flat would have to be 3-dimensional in this realm. Everything is 3D in this realm. What does 3D mean? 3 directions: length, width, and height. Do you understand? After length, width, and height comes consciousness. You understand? That's what makes something animate. Do you understand? So like this table, it's got genetic coding. Okay? Right? It's got genetic coding, it's 3D, but it has no consciousness. So that means it's only 3D. It's not 4D. Right? Now me, I'm a human being. It's very clear that human beings have a conscience, right? We have the ability for motion or movement, right? What does that tell you? That tells you we are fourth dimensional beings. Now, if you can move and animals can move, but we know that mankind and animal are not the same in terms of intelligence and wisdom, what does that tell you? Man is more, or has the capability to be more than a fourth dimensional being. Which means you have, the very least, the capability of being a fifth dimensional being. There's a reason you got 5 fingers. You see what I'm saying? All right. Now, okay, now let's get back to these motherfuckers right here. Okay? So, getting back to this electromagnetic field and how we were talking about, we'll finish reading this actually, about these gods, these angels having created this dimension which people are locked, these beings are locked away in, right? So instead of planet, we cross that out because we know that's wrong, and we put plane or dimension, drawn by the force, which is magnetism, that flows through the all, right? Condensing, coalescing the ether into forms that grew as they willed, right? So why do you think I brought programmable matter to Instagram? It was my account, the last one, that initially brought the concept of programmable matter, at least in terms of the black community, to Instagram. Every time I'm going to tell you I brought something in, there was no hashtag for it. There was no account for it. Nobody, as far as I know, was talking about it or teaching it. So this is why you'll hear me say that, right? If anybody can prove me wrong, please do so and I'll correct myself. All right? So let's keep it going. So this is that realm. This is that realm that they're talking about, this 8th dimension, the controlling of the ether, right? The electromagnetism is the ether. You understand? All right, this is the space, this is an artificial space-time continuum that was constructed by these angels. And there's something I wrote down last night that came to my mind, so let me get it. Hang on. Let me just text this person real quick. Hang on. All right. So what I wrote down was all right. So they've kept us locked in this little body, in the body that we've got, right? So we'll get into this real quick. So they've kept us locked in this body, which is a lower dimensional body, right? We're locked in a body which is 3D, okay? We have a spiritual body which is 5th dimensional, right? We were made just lower than the angels. The angels' realm starts from the 6th dimension upwards, okay? So remember, the angels, when they're not fallen, their realms of existence. Remember, there's different levels to angels. There's different ranks. So each dimension is where the angel ranks, right? So if you got 10 is the throne room of the Most High. The 9th dimension is just outside the throne room where the Archangel Michael would be. He's the only one that's allowed to step into the throne room. So that's why you see me got 9th dimension here. Okay, you see me got 10th dimension here. You've got the 8th dimension, which the other 3 cherubs are, And I guess the 8th dimension is where the cherubs are. The 7th dimension, there's another set of angels, I want to say. And then the 6th dimension is where the seraphim are. The serpent angels. So they're the 6th dimension. So if it's any wonder why I guess they have an obsession with the number 6, maybe that's the reason why.